Morning. Again, we're happy to start the Sun Belt season with a road win at ULM. We achieved our goal of being 1-0 this past week. Proud of our team for the way they battled. They battled for 60 minutes, and it took every second on the clock to get that win. We didn't play our best. We have a lot of things to get corrected. A little bit of time this week with a midweek game next Tuesday night. We look forward to hosting Coastal Carolina here at the Rock on national TV. We always had great fan support from the students and our fans, and we're expecting the same thing on Tuesday night. Just a few injury updates. Miller Gibbs, we'll find out more about him on Wednesday at practice. Montez Kelly is back. He practiced yesterday evening. And then Ryan Berger will still be day-to-day. So I know he has a follow-up appointment with Dr. Parker this week, and we'll see where it goes from there.
David Ware, 24/7 Sports. Shawn, after you had a chance to go back and review that film, can you kind of run us through the milestones of the highs and lows you took away from that?
Yeah, a lot of highs and a few lows. Again, first and foremost, I think it starts with the turnovers. We give up 4 turnovers on offense. You can't do that to be successful. And then on defense, we had 13 explosive plays for 322 yards, 7 runs and 6 passes. But we did give ourselves a chance to win. There were some big plays in the game. You look at the blocked field goal, or extra point by Favors that was used, gave us a chance to win. The 2-point conversion by Favors, he knocks it down. And then, the goal line stop there by our defense. So there's some positive things in there, but the most alarming thing are the turnovers. You can't have 4 turnovers on offense, and you can't give up that many explosive plays. But again, our kids fought to the very end, and that's something I'm very proud of.
Given the turnovers, talk a little bit about the offensive production. I mean, you lose 4 possessions. You still have a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard rusher, 200-yard receivers. You're over 500 yards in total, and you gave the ball up 4 times. Maybe talk about the resilience of the offense, because when they held on to it, they produced.
Yeah, we moved the ball all game long, and then those picks. That's sometimes Joey trying to make a play, and again, and he's going to make some tight throws, and we'll get that corrected. That wasn't all on him. It's on the route, the play called. And then the turnover there with Caden Robinson. We can't have that opening drive. Our opening script, we were going down the field and turn the ball over there with a fumble, and then the one scramble on 4th down. I mean, that was a turnover on downs. He's a yard short of it. So, again, our offense moved the football, but again, you can't turn the football off a chance to win. If you look statistically, we should have never even been close in that football game. But again, I think it's credit to our players and our coaches for fighting. And as long as there's time on the clock, we have a chance to win a football game.
Still talking about the turnovers, but flip to the other side with defense. Monroe only scored 7 points off of those 4 turnovers. So as tough of a night as it was for the defense in some regards, when their back was against the wall and that the ball got flipped against you, they were able to kind of hold up and prevent points from going on the board. How significant was that?
It was big. I mean, the quarterback had a great day against us, their quarterback at Monroe, and some of those are 50-50 balls, and they were probably more 80-20 balls in the game. But again, our defense gave some explosive plays up. But again, we look down at the bottom line is they made a stop on the goal line to give us a chance to win. And then the last drive from Monroe, we were able to save our timeouts, had all 3 timeouts there, make some stops and make up 4th and 3 where they had to punt. So again, we have things to improve without question on both sides of the football. But again, the defense gave us a chance to win in the very end.
Now that you're done with that 2-game road swing, you had to travel several time zones across to Wyoming. Now you come back from Monroe. And finally, you get a little bit of a break. I won't call it a bye week because that's not what it is, but the guys have a little bit of extra time before the Coastal game. How significant is that given just the emotional investment that everybody has had to make into these first 5 games of the season?
I think it goes back to the last 2 weeks, like you mentioned. The earliest I got in bed was 7:15 for the last 2 weeks on Sunday morning. So we need some breaks, but we haven't had a bye week since I've been the head football coach here. We've had midweek games, which are a positive for our conference, put us on a national stage to get that kind of exposure for our university, for our football program, for the conference. But we need to have a few days kind of to get our bodies back. So we'll take today and tomorrow off from football activities and get back on Wednesday. So then we'll get a few days on the back end. But we needed this break, if you will, just to get our bodies and our minds right.
as you pointed out, you just got back. Any observations you can give on Coastal at this point? Obviously, they've undergone a coaching staff change down there. Things are a little bit different. They've gotten off to what, for them, relative the past few years, has been a slow start. Anything that you've noticed at this point?
Yeah, I think it starts with their quarterback and Grayson McCall, and he's one of the best in our conference, and he's had some great games against us in the past. But again, we just watched very little last night. I mean, we got back. We tried to get out of the office by 7:30 last night to give ourselves a chance to get some rest ourselves. And but again, they're explosive. Coach Tricka, their offensive coordinator, very well, and everywhere he's been, he's had a high-powered offense. And you put the quarterback, the receivers, and that running back, they're going to score some points. And on defense, watched very little again last night, but again, they're multiple in what they do, how they do things, and they've got playmakers on both sides of the football.
Chris Womack, WLOS. You mentioned the national stage that comes with the midweek game, but do you feel like the positives outweigh the lack of a true bye week and everything that you have to do to accommodate a Tuesday game?
Well, there's pluses and minuses to it. The pluses, you're putting your program on a national stage, which we need the exposure for our conference. I do appreciate that, but again, a bye week would be good. A true week off would be great for your body to rest and recuperate. It's a long season. We expect to play 13, 14 games here at App State year in and year out. And but again, we have to be very creative how we do things. And I think Coach Greenhall and his staff in the weight room have given us a boost in some ways, and Megan Morley, how we try to refuel our body and get the proper rest and nutrition, it'll pay dividends down the road for us.
Prior to the season, we talked about Caden Robinson and stepping into a leadership role now that he's one of the experienced guys coming back. That last drive, he was so big with, I think it was 3 or 4 big catches to set up the field goal. What does that show about his growth so far this season? Well,
it's something we've always known about Caden. He's a terrific football player, but he's even a better human being. And he had 10 targets and 10 catches on Saturday night. And I think Joey has a lot of confidence in him right now. And he's not always the first progression, as we call football plays, but somehow Joey always gets back to him. So his leadership, I mean, you could tell that coming off the field throughout the drives that he was giving us some great feedback of plays we should be running, and we listened to him, and he was open, he made catches. So very proud of Caden. Again, I think he's not tapped into all he can do for us yet this season.
Michael had a good game at Wyoming. You know, obviously the blocked field goal at the end, not entirely on him, but that's probably something that sticks with a kicker for a while. To have the bounce back ability to hit a game winner just a week later, what does that say about him?
Yeah, I think it shows Michael's how resilient he is, and Michael's had some highs and lows. You go back to the onside kick his freshman year versus Coastal out here at the Rock on a Wednesday night game, and then he missed a field goal at Georgia Southern to give us a chance last year to win the football game, and then he bounces back this past week to drill a 54-yarder, probably good for 60 plus. But I can't say enough good things. It's the way he prepares. I mean, his mental state and how he prepares for football. And again, we're hard on Michael. We're from the same hometown, same high school, and we have a unique relationship. The guy, a kid I trust a bunch. And if we had to all do over again, I would put him right back out there again. He has a big time leg, and he's kicking with a lot of confidence right now, is what you need as we end the conference play.
To execute that, I mean, you were obviously out of timeouts. They didn't call a timeout. With the play clock running and everything like that, how tough is it to get on the field and get that all set up in that kind of order for a kick of that length?
Well, it's something we do practice every Tuesday and Wednesday, different scenarios. It didn't help that we had a 10-second runoff at the very end there by a legal procedure, but again, our kid, when we practice that in different scenarios, if you're from the -1 or the +40, we practice week in and week out. So our kids know what to expect. We already had our fast field goal unit ready to go. And again, I think once you practice things, you're more comfortable with them, that your kids are confident in it. And again, there was never a doubt that our kids thought we were going to that football game. And they went out and executed at a high level. We blocked well on the field goal, and then Michael did his job, and he drills one right down the pipe. So I think it shows that we are practicing this kind of situation, and it's paid dividends for us.
Whether by design or not, a little smaller workload for Nate, but he was effective. Amani was effective. Kanye, everybody that you had ran the ball. What was it like having Amani healthy no knee brace on him to be out there and contribute to that running game.
No, it's what we need. I mean, Nate, I think he had 18 carries for 100 and some yards, and then Amani came in and had some big time explosive runs for us. And we have a deep running back room. You look at Kanye and Haywood; those guys. We have 4 running backs can play anywhere in our conference, and it's hard to get everyone the ball. But again, we have to be able to run the football to have a chance to win a championship, and we'll need all 4 of those this year to be successful.
When you're in a situation, back-to-back weeks, you get the field goal blocked at Wyoming, you go back, you review what happened and understand that, and then you have to rely on yet another long field goal attempt to win at Monroe. Were there any tactical or structural changes that you guys made from Wyoming to Monroe that you felt, hey, I'm glad we had the opportunity to study this and make these enhancements?
I think we executed. I think it starts with the snap, and Johnstone with a great snap, and our offensive line and tight ends blocked the proper way, blocked the proper gaps, and Michael did his job. So I think it's important, every play matters, every situation matters, and we were able to review that from last week on the blocked field goal, and our team knows how important it is, but to be able to reiterate it again, it comes down to the same scenario. It's just something we're very proud we executed at a high level, and we were able to get away with a win.